Good to see you. So in today's video, I will be visiting, well, I'm on the USC campus, and I will be visiting the USC Fisher Art Museum. It's kind of rainy. For a tour that has been going on across the nation for America's 250th anniversary. And it's called The Documents That Forged the Nation, the Declaration of Independence, the Treaty of Paris, and it's really rainy out here. Let's go inside. All right, I'm gonna start over here. The Road to the Revolution. And at the conclusion of the French and Indian War in 1763, King George III ruled an empire that included 13 American colonies. Because Great Britain had fought to protect the American colonies, the British Parliament passed a number of laws to raise revenues from America to help pay war debts. And between 1764 and 1774, Parliament passed two laws that many colonists argued violated their rights as Englishmen, and they believed these taxes were unfair because the colonists had no voice in Britain's Parliament. And this starts in 1763. So you start at the French and Indian War where it ended. It's the Articles of Association, October 20th, 1774, first and signature pages.
I went to
Boston Tea Party, the Coercive Intolerance Acts, the First Continental Congress. And so this one is signed by George Washington. I think that's what it says. Yeah, signed by George Washington. On the bottom right is Alexander Hamilton's Oath of Allegiance. George Washington's troops were encamped at Valley Forge, Pennsylvania during the harsh winter of 1777-1778. In February 1778, Congress ordered all Continental Army officers to swear an oath of allegiance. All right, the next one is the Declaration and Treaty of Paris, starting on January 10th, 1776.
King George wouldn't miss it.
Declaration of Independence, original stone engraving, 1823.
Josiah Bartlett, Samuel Adams,
John Hancock. Independence declared on July 2nd, 1776, and of course July 4th, 1776, to Declaration of Independence. Zoom in here.
Stephen Hopkins is not so nice. This is very shaky.
Benjamin Franklin's signature is pretty good too.
Oh, you can see that one?
Declaration signed August 2nd, 1776. Here is the Treaty of Paris, ending the Revolutionary War, signed September 3rd, 1783, first and signature pages.
And David Hartley signed it.
Sealed. Was that Franklin? Yeah, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, and John Jay signed the treaty formally ending the Revolutionary War. And then on January 14th, 1784, the Treaty of Paris was approved. Congress ratified the treaty, which officially ended the Revolutionary War and recognized the United States as an independent nation. All right, here's the Constitution and Bill of Rights, 1787, 1791. Oh, actually, on September 11th, 1786, Annapolis Convention convenes. Here's a printed draft of the Constitution, September 13th, 1787, first page.
I want to take every opportunity I can with it. It's not like you see it every day. Right. And it's only going to be here for 2 weeks. Oh, leaving next week. Okay. Like end of and this
We can come back tomorrow when we film it.
This is the only stop. That's the end.
Then it goes on to the Constitutional Convention, first draft of the Constitution, second draft of the Constitution. Here's a document of the voting record of the Constitutional Convention showing the final vote on the Constitution 1787.
Turned into like this grotesque explode the myths of the South. Where was that? I can't remember what town it was, but it's actually a really big project.
Then the final document is the Bill of Rights, Senate revisions to the House passed amendments to the Constitution September 9th, 1789. It's the first and last pages.
In particular, the Stonewall Jackson. It's both dramatic. Yeah, that sounds good. I think this one's good. I like the ledger. Yeah. It's kind of cool.
And then December 15th, 1791, the Bill of Rights were approved. The freedoms that all Americans enjoy were born out of these documents you've just seen. While America looks different than it did 250 years ago, the principles enshrined in these documents still guide our lives and continue to shape our country. To preserve our American history for another 250 years, the National Archives and National Archives Foundation are pleased to bring this special traveling exhibition to you, the American people, to celebrate our semi-quincentennial, it's a huge word, continuing to ensure the preservation of and access to the history of the United States is the role of the National Archives. It's presidential libraries and more than 40 facilities across the country that hold more than 13.5 billion paper records and 30 billion electronic records. All right, so over here, this shows where the tour is stopping. And we stop in Kansas City, Atlanta, here in Los Angeles, Texas, Denver, Miami, Detroit, and then finally ends on Sunday, August 16th in Seattle. Here's the logo. Walk over this way. The Freedom Plane National Tour, Documents That Forged a Nation, is a traveling exhibition that will bring founding era documents to 8 American cities throughout 2026. And it's inspired by the bicentennial Freedom Train. The Freedom Plane National Tour will make historic and consequential documents fundamental to America's founding accessible across the nation to celebrate the semi-quincentennial. The tour will kick off in March and run through August 2026. And the exhibition records highlights William Stone engraving of the Declaration of Independence 1823, one of only about 50 known engraved copies of the Declaration of Independence, printed from a copper plate of the original document. Articles of Association 1774, George Washington's, Alexander Hamilton's, and Aaron Burr's Oath of Allegiance, secret printing of the Constitution in draft form, Treaty of Paris, tally of votes approving the Constitution, and the Senate markup of the Bill of Rights, 1789. All right, that's about it. It was like a small little exhibit, kind of like the Selena exhibit. 3 glass booths, and it's kind of nerve-wracking to do stuff like that, honestly, because you know there's people all around you, and you don't want to be disruptive to them and talk too loud, and security's watching you the whole time. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. That was pretty cool. This stuff is actually flown in from DC, authentic pieces of our nation's history. And anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.